Welcome everyone to the PYRESWAP show. Today is Wednesday, and of course I am Five. Super excited to have you guys here as we continue to crusade and crush and crescendo towards finishing learnpyreswap.com. I realized like half of January is gone, so like now I really am just trying to fucking, I don't know, throw my entire mind, body, and soul at accomplishing this task. But since I still like to make appearances on doing this program, and I think that it's good that you guys continue to see this, especially at this hour, I wanted to know, because I talked about this earlier, like you guys are probably already aware, fundamental analysis, the idea of it, the concept of it, is going to be pretty central to our marketing messaging. We're going to really lead the marketing with the concept of fundamental analysis, which thankfully already exists, and then bring the product in as it applies to that concept. Okay? Now, when you think about fundamental analysis in, I guess you could say, major finance, you have these things called valuations, which you do for like stocks, right? For like companies, like equities, right? And the thing about that type of analysis is that you're looking at a business model and you're valuing the shares based on how that business is doing. When you're doing that in crypto, you're not doing the same thing. Does that make sense? You have to think about more of like fundamental analysis as it applies to a commodity. Does that make sense? This is not something that is like issued by a central authority. Well, some of them are, but it's more like, hey, if I wanted to do fundamental analysis on silicon, right? Do you guys know what silicon is? It's an element. Do you guys know of anything that silicon is used in that perhaps people care about these days? Well, that's silicone, actually, which is not the same thing. Yeah, thank you to everybody who jumped in on the breast implant fucking bandwagon. Yeah, actually close but no cigar. Something with an even higher... No, not that either. not that either. That is, I think you may be thinking of sodium. But anyways, silicon... Okay, AI agents. Yes. Closer. Silicon is the main element inside semiconductors, which are the shit that are on chips. Electronic components made of silicon. Does that make sense? Transistors. Transistors are these little tiny, I guess you could call them like voltage switches that are, that literally are like the basic component of all computing fucking things. I actually, learned this quite a bit ago, and I'm actually, decently good at understanding transistors. But anyways, chips, electronics, right? NVIDIA, things like that. Silicon is the main component used in transistors, okay? It's the main element. So, if you guys wanted to understand how the price of silicon was going to be affected, because by the way, it's likely going to continue to go up because they don't really have another good component, like another good element for making transistors out of, okay? I actually looked this up this morning. Do you guys know what a kilogram of silicon goes for? The metal, or should I say I guess it is a metal. I don't know. Do you guys know what it goes for? According to the internet, okay, Jerry, according to the internet, between $3 and $6 per kilogram, okay? Now I want you guys to know something. Besides silicon, there's another element which makes for a good semiconductor, and it's called germanium, okay? But I want you to know germanium goes for like $4,000 per kilogram. Does that make sense to you guys? Arguably, if you wore a chain made of germanium, it would be the most baller shit possible. Okay, guys? Just saying, all right? Like, if everybody else is wearing like a gigantic gold chain, the only way for you to one-up them is to wear a chain of germanium. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, okay? Anyways, but like tangents aside, germanium costs like 1,000 times more than silicon. So, since AI is a big deal now, and since compute is like the new resource that powers AI, what is the element that compute needs to power these LLMs? We just went over this. What is the main element we're talking about here? Silicon, exactly. So the point being is, the same way we do an analysis on what the price of silicon is going to do is the same way we're going to do an analysis on the price of a crypto instrument, right? A crypto coin. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get right back to work right after the PYRESWAP show here today. But before I do that, I want to explain that, you know, coming to the revelation that the main thing that we can help crypto with is fundamental analysis. It also kind of like begs the question that people don't know how to analyze crypto investments at all. Do you guys know what I mean? It's to call it tea leaf reading would be to give it a compliment. Like, most people know that you want to learn about hype early and then front run it before it spreads, right? Does that make sense? Like, that's like fundamental analysis, right? Like, oh, there's a hype event. Fuck, can I jump in real quick? No, not at all, Javery. And in fact, right now, I would say that the way that a chart looks due to meme coins, there's even less and less faith being placed in charts. So meme coins are again helping us because as meme coins continue to saturate and die off, it's creating a user base that is kind of slowly losing their crush on meme coins. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, people talk shit about, you know, tomb forks and how there was 500 of them and they all died. Well, it's like, well, there's probably 500 meme coins going to launch a day. And, you know, then don't get me started how many are dying. So the point being is, we can't really do things like DCF valuations for cryptocurrencies because they're not really an equity, right? When you hold a Bitcoin, you don't hold a share of Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Arguably, mining Bitcoin is closer to being a shareholder than it does to hold one. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So, in order for us to actually kind of like really be the project that brings fundamental analysis to crypto, because this is something that, do you guys remember this book? Maybe you do. The one thing that I said from this book that I think really resonated is that all numbers in finance are meaningless until they become a ratio. Right? You guys remember me saying that? Okay. So there is two ratios that I think more people could look at if they want to understand how the price of something is going to move fundamentally. Now, if people don't know about these ratios, it's almost like if the majority of the market is stupid, they can still fuck this up. Does that make sense? This is, again, another problem that we've had here at PYRESWAP. It's my job to educate people, right? Which is, again, what we have going on. There's two ratios that I was covering earlier, and I guess I'm going to cover them with you guys real quick as well. One of them is TRB against TRS. Have you guys heard of this ratio before? Electronic says yes. Okay, fantastic. Do you guys know what it means? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the point being is, if you understand that there is, let's say for instance for Ethereum, so for Ethereum, one is speculating, right? Two is gas, right? Three, you can collateralize it, right? Right? Four, I think you vote with it, right? Do you guys vote with Ethereum? I believe so. You guys can't see the blue at all, can you? Okay, let me adjust the tilt of this thing too. Okay, this marker has got to be. Okay. Got it. Okay, well it says wow. Okay. It's still, yeah, it's not really talking about it like as if it's Ethereum's DAO. It's more like, oh yeah, you could build like a voting DApp on this. Okay. That's kind of useful, I guess. I think the red marker tends to deliver better. Okay. Well, the point being is using it as gas is using it as gas. Okay, you can zoom back in on me, I guess, because I don't think that's gonna help. But anyways, again, you got speculating, right? You can buy this to fucking sell later. 2 is gas, like you're actually using it to pay for gas, whether you're deploying smart contracts or whatever. You're using fucking gas. 3 is collateral. So in this sense, there's most of the stable coins on Ethereum except Ethereum for collateral. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, I don't know about that either, about the core protocol stuff, because I've heard about them passing votes, but I have no idea what that consists of. Yeah. And I don't think Brave knows what they're talking about either. Wow. Okay. Well, interesting. Anyways, it appears that you don't vote with Ethereum. Yeah. You know what? That's apparently what the internet said too. Like it's like, oh no, they just talk about it until everybody just kind of decides that this one's better. And then apparently you can rebel against it, but then that also forks the network, so they don't do that. Anyways, you can speculate on Ethereum. You can fucking use it as gas, or you can use it as collateral. Does that make sense? The majority of reasons to sell would be what? Profit, right? Cash out. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? So the point being is, as long as these two things keep happening, arguably Ethereum has a higher TRB than a TRS. Now, does that mean that every single moment fucking Ethereum's price is going to keep going up? No. But if you look historically at Ethereum's price, as they keep doing this, Ethereum keeps going up. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Technically, Ethereum has not broken its all-time high that happened 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. But you get what I'm saying. Not enough people understanding TRB for Pi or Phantom. Does that make sense? Understanding the TRB versus TRS of Pi or Phantom is key to the fundamental analysis that needs to be taught to the user base to make this product succeed. Do you guys understand? Or should I say, to make this project do what you guys want it to do. Does that make sense? I mean, it doesn't to do what it wants to do what I wanted to do as well. But do you guys understand me? Right? So the fact of the matter is if you don't have like a majority of the user base understanding that TRB versus TRS ratio, you're not going to have enough people even speculating on it the right way. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. Another ratio, which I think everybody likes talking about this one, is the utilizer to speculator ratio. And the utilizer to speculator ratio as well, you can look at Ethereum again, right? The utilizer to speculator ratio is useful because when we turned decay off, one of the reasons we did that was based on the realization that I think actually it was Phantom Opera at the time, that you can have a fucking utilizer to speculator ratio of like 1 to 100,000. Does that make sense? So people speculating on Phantom, they're speculating on as well. What they don't realize is like its underlying use case. Does that make sense? And its underlying use case getting gated to other things. Phantom has an underlying use case as well, right? Which is staking it in the incantation of Witch Vault, right? That's actually only its first use case. Does that make sense? That's its phase 1 use case. But the fact of the matter is that Ethereum or Phantom or whatever the fuck else, having only one use case allows for a significantly larger amount of capital to be speculated based on the usage of its use case. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? It's like, oh, well, I know that it's always getting burned and it's always getting bought. And I know it's always getting burned and I know it's always getting bought. Does that make sense? Talking about this is still flabbergasting to me that people don't realize that that's what you're investing in when you buy Ethereum. Like, it's still like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. But I guess this is the time to do a reformation. So we're bringing fundamental analysis to crypto. That's what we're doing. And we're gonna save DeFi, you guys. Yeah, we're going to make it. We make good progress every day. We move the needle every day. I don't know. Do you guys have any other questions? Because if not, I'll just get back to work, right? You guys just want Learn PYRESWAP to be done, right? Yeah. There's like there's nothing else to do other than like just get back to work, right? So right now I feel it. Right now the workload in front of me, it feels very much like where it was on the pre-Genesis hit list. Do you guys remember the pre-Genesis hit list? Maybe some of you do. It feels like that. Yeah. When can we expect that, Electronic? You can't. Yeah. I would say, Electronic, you've been here long enough to be the expert on how quick I am at finishing things, right? So how quick do you think I'll finish it? Yeah. Like, again, Electronic, every time I've ever given you a timeline, yeah. Yeah. Next week? Yeah. Realistic. I think so. Yeah. Possible. But again, every time I say a timeline, it's always wrong. So it's almost like a jinx. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for coming to the PYRESWAP show. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.